Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. I'm so excited for this video because it's about Brooke, who is someone who I actually really enjoy. Brooke is the other member of the Cancelled podcast with Tana Mojo, and I saw that all hell broke out on Brooke's TikTok, and I was like, no, what the hell is going on? And so I just want to dive into it with you. Now, these were being posted whenever I think I was in New York and I was out at a restaurant and I had Brooke's notifications on. It was like, Brooke had posted a video. Brooke had posted another video, another video, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm at this restaurant and I'm like, oh, she's exposing. She's exposing. So I waited. I wanted to watch these so bad, but I wanted to blind react with you. I've waited for this moment. I literally just arrived back from New York, so I've been waiting for this moment. So we're gonna dive into Brooke exposing her ex-boyfriend. Now, I also want to dive into who the hell this ex-boyfriend is. So let's see it all, right? Shall we? Okay, first of all, we have a Muckers Finsta, by the way. I haven't promoted it in a while. I'm gonna be accepting more people on it. I periodically accept people. It's McIntyre's Dump. It'll be pinned down below. If you go and request to follow, I'll accept you. I'll be doing it for maybe a couple hours after I post this video, so go over quick. I accept people periodically over there. Okay, so this is the ex-boyfriend. So, by the way, just speaking of the amount of videos, this from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 videos, and they're all multiple minutes long. She has made about her ex-boyfriend, and you know what? She is so real for that. You know what people say? Oh, like, get over the relationship, get over. Whatever happened to holding a grudge? Can we normalize holding a grudge? I hold many grudges in my life. And you know what? I feel fine with that. People say, oh, once you learn to let go, like, your life will be so much better. Not really. I hold grudges for a lot of people in my life, and I actually quite enjoy holding a grudge. When someone does something to me, or they piss me off, or, like, I have a history with them and I don't like them anymore, I'm gonna hold on to that grudge. I'm actually not just gonna hold on to it, but I'm gonna cherish it. I'm gonna cherish it, and I'm gonna enjoy having that grudge. Maybe that's just because maybe I'm just a mean person, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Please, whatever happened to having to be the better person? Fuck that. Not me. Okay, so I have no idea who her ex is. He's called Kane. He has 284,000 followers on Instagram. And he has 2 million on TikTok. Now, he is a singer, and I guess he's just released a new song. And the full thing is that it was directed and edited by his ex-girlfriend. Now, this ex-girlfriend is not seemingly Brooke, which is interesting because I thought that they were dating during this time period 2 years ago, or maybe this was the one just before her. So maybe we're going to dive in. But anyway, he's a singer-songwriter, okay? He makes a lot of songs. This is what he looks like. Okay. Now, let's just dive into what Brooke is saying. Now, the reason that Brooke did this was because I think Clinton had posted a video which was like, my ex-girlfriend won't stop yapping about me. And so what did she do? She promised to yap even more, and I respect her for that. Okay, so let me just position my camera correctly so we can get this full screen, because I want the full viewing experience for this. I want this to be very, oh, hello. Sorry, was I out of frame that? Hey, welcome back. All right, let's get to it. So she had posted this first one where she is like listening to his song, and the caption is, oh, hello. Hey, camera, please. Thank you. The caption of this is, the rage bait is working. Please stream this song. All proceeds go to his mom. And it's basically a video of her listening to the song. I don't want to get copyrighted. But anyways, let's start getting to the expose. All right, Brooke, let's get to it. So this first one, we're gonna go through them all, okay? And all the comments on this are like, Brooke, full send it, please. So basically everyone is saying that they want her to expose him bad. And let me tell you, that is exactly what she did. Okay, I'm trying to get this full screen a little bit more. There we go. Fabulous. I'm such an editor. All right.
Part 1. Who the fuck did I marry? Part 1.
Okay. And then she actually does it. Full send.
Part 1. Who the fuck did I marry? I am trying to be a little bit less psycho on TikTok because obviously I had my little meltdown the other day and that was probably like enough for this week. But When I opened my phone today to a million texts from all my friends of this TikTok that Clinton Kane had posted saying, what did he say? He said, like, when I've been over the relationship for 2 years and she just can't stop yapping about it, which, first of all, hilarious. Like, no shit, I can't stop yapping. But the nerve. Now, obviously, we broke up 2 years ago, okay? And that was a very, very different time in my life. I was, first of all, unmedicated, okay? And that is a very, very important factor in this story because I get so many comments that are like, Brooke, what on earth were you going through? And I agree. I really don't know. That was a different girl. I was bamboozled. Now, I get a lot of comments about his appearance and the way he shakes, okay? And those are two things that I'm gonna leave off
The way he shakes?
my story time because I feel like that's low-hanging fruit and it's obvious it doesn't even need to be addressed. Believe it or not, that was not even really the problem. The fact of the matter is I ended up in a relationship with this man because I was a fan, honestly.
Oh, okay. Not a power dynamic.
Because of his music. I loved his song Chicken Tendies or whatever. Tana and I would literally blast it on a loop at our old house and like we were obsessed with it, okay? So randomly one day I get a DM from this artist. It's Clinton Kane. And I remember telling Tana like, oh my God.
There's something so fucking funny about the fact that he was like, you can't stop yapping, so what does she do? Just yaps even more. That's a real girl right there. That's a real girl, and I love it. I love it. Can we bring this back? Can we stop like acting like the better person? Can we bring back this kind of behavior again? I love it. I love her so much for this.
Like how funny, he just messaged me and he starts just like asking me questions, whatever, and he asks if I want to go to dinner. And I'm like, I'm looking at his profile and I don't know if I want to go to dinner, okay? But I'm replying anyway, and he asks, he's like, what about tomorrow? I'll fly you to Vegas. I go, what the fuck? I didn't know he lived in Vegas. So I say no, and that's the end of that. No, seriously.
Okay. Oh no, I'm locked in.
Mary. Like I said, he lived in Vegas, so I obviously was not going to go to dinner with him because he's a stranger, okay? But he persisted, all right? Of course, of the next few months.
You know what's so evil about this, but just so real? The fact that she's setting this story up that, like, she didn't even want to... Hold on. Clinton Kane shake. I need to see what this is. What does that mean? What? What is going on? What? Okay. Something that is really evil, really evil about this is, again, she's setting this story up that, like, she didn't even really like him in the first place. Like, she basically had to be persuaded, you know, to be in this, right? Now, what is super evil is that this is just so common. This is so common that, like, you'll not even like someone that much, but they're the ones that, like, hurt you the most. They're the ones that, like, break you down the most. The ones where you're like, damn, I didn't even like you that much in the first place. Like, how am I in this position? That is a brutal one. That's a really brutal one to have to come to terms with, I'm going to be honest. All right, which one are we at?
Like I said, he lived in Vegas. No, seriously, part one. Okay, part two, who the fuck did I marry? Like I said, he lived in Vegas, so I obviously was not going to go to dinner with him because he's a stranger, okay? But
You're better than me, girl.
All right. Of course, of the next few months, he would slide up on all my stories, message me constantly. Some would call him obsessed, honestly. But what am I going to do? I'm not going to fly to meet a stranger, okay? But one day, I get a DM where he says,
hey, also, this culture of, like, being flown out for, like, dates and stuff like that is so crazy to me because I'm like, if I have to take any more than, like, a 10-minute Uber for, like, a first date, I'm like, please, I don't want to have to go to the airport.
I have a show tomorrow in LA. Like, would you want to come? And again, I loved his music. So I was like, absolutely. I will definitely come because it's like, that's so much less pressure. I don't want to go to dinner with this man. Like I said, I saw his profile, but I want to see the show. So I asked BB to come with me and we get ready to go, okay? Remember so specifically the outfit that I wore, because again, this guy has been messaging me so much online that I'm like, I know he like loves me. So I wore the ugliest outfit you could find. Like BB knows, I said it to her. I was like, I just want like to look as unattractive like to him as possible, because I just don't want that to be the vibes. All right. She and I go to dinner and we go to the show. It's
the prettiest woman you've ever seen being like, I'm gonna dress ugly. Girl, that doesn't matter. That face card is crazy good.
amazing. Okay, he was amazing. I don't know what's happened since then, but he was slaying at the time. After the show, we go upstairs. I think he was at like El Rey Theater or something. And everybody's like mingling. A few of my friends were there. I remember Lexing Cover were there. Markel was there. One of my best friends, Justin Horowitz, was there. Like, I was like mingling with friends, and he like came over to me and started talking to me, whatever. And we like hit it off. And I'm going to tell you guys something that you might not believe, but he looked really good. Honestly, he was way taller than I thought. And he had a really cool outfit on. And I was like, you know what? He's not as bad as I thought he was. Okay. So we end the night. I go home. Nothing happens. And he texts me after the show. And he's like, would you want to come back tomorrow? And I had an amazing time. I like loved the show. So I was like, you know what? I'll go back. Amari also loved his music. So I texted Amari and I was like, would you want to come? Would you want to come with me to see Clinton Kane tomorrow? And whatever. I bring Amari the next day, okay? Same show. We do the same thing after. And then Amari and I go back on his bus, okay? And honestly, we had such a good time. Like, we're like cracking up on the bus. We're with a bunch of friends. Amari's having the best time. I'm having the best time. He's funny. He's cool. He's like charismatic. I'm like, you know what? Like, maybe he's not that bad.
God! Oh, and she's been fucked up by this, obviously, and the fact that it took that amount of times for her to be like, oh, you're just all right. Oh, brutal, but so real. They're the worst.
We all get off the bus and go to the club. We all get super drunk, and me and him end up like making out. We're like very much together at the club, and that was the start of something very horrible.
Okay.
Part 3, who the fuck did I marry? All right, so after the club, he and I went alone to a little diner in LA called Mel's Diner. It's 24 hours. You can go after the club, get fries, shakes, whatever. And he and I order literally every single thing on the menu, and we sit there for like 4 hours.
I'm so fucking jealous. They have this in New York as well, these like 24-hour diners. I wish that that was a concept in like the UK, because after the club, if you want to continue, you have to go to an afters at some random person's fucking house. Whatever happened to like us having a diner and being able to go for like fries and stuff? Like the equivalent of that for us would be like a kebab shop that like has no seats in it, where you just go and get your food and you eat it in the middle of the street. Like, we need diners in the UK 24/7. Please.
4 hours and just talk, okay? And this is the point where he tells me about what had happened to him in the year prior, all right? This would have been, I guess, 2020, like during COVID, okay? He tells me his mom, his dad, and his brother all died in the same year, okay? Which is fucking horrible. Like, obviously just unimaginable. So I'm like blown away. I knew that his mom had died because he had openly talked about like how one of his songs was about her and stuff, but I had no idea about
I fear where this story is going. Did he lie about it?
shit, first of all. And
Please don't tell me he lied about this.
completely changed my opinion about him, because I'm like, at this point, I'm thinking he's just like this weirdo sliding into my DMs, and now he's very like human to me, because I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe you could overcome something like that. Like, that's insane. This is very important to the story, okay? Because I need you guys to understand how I ended up in this scenario, all right? Then he starts telling me how he got into music. He's telling me how he was homeless and he would backpack around Europe, like literally sleep on benches and busk. Like,
I hope this isn't fake.
and he got discovered, whatever. And then obviously, I guess I'm in Love came out, and he was really successful from that song. But I'm just looking at this guy like, I have never met anybody like you, because first of all, I could never be touring a year after like that kind of extreme tragedy, first of all. Second of all, you would never catch me dead sleeping on a bench on purpose. So I was like, this guy's really like special. Okay, part 3, who the fuck did I marry?
Uh-oh, I'm fearing that he maybe is not telling the truth about that. However, maybe it is true. I do not know. I'm really, really, really scared that she's going to say that that was not true.
Okay, so we had this whole night at this diner. We talked forever, and I got to know a lot about him, okay? He told me all about how he had grown up in Australia, in Perth, Australia. He talked about how he grew up like super wealthy in like an 8-bedroom house on the beach in Australia. His mom was a pastor. He said she was a pastor at Hillsong United, which is like one of the biggest churches, I guess.
Not Hillsong. Not Hillsong. Uh-oh, you hear Hillsong and you run for the Hillsong. Like, you run for the hills.
Australia, I don't know. He studied medicine, which I loved because I was like technically pre-med when I was in college also. I didn't graduate, but it doesn't matter. So I was like, oh my God, we have that in common. Like, this is like a really well-rounded, like amazing guy, okay? And like I said, he doesn't live in LA. So the next night he calls me and he's like, listen, I have a date planned for us. I'm picking you up at 8, whatever. And he does. Okay, we go on this date.
That's ballsy. I would never ever say that to someone where 8 p.m. I'm picking you up. My fear of rejection, honey, could never be me.
Restaurant, whatever. We have the best time. We talk forever. We go to the beach, yada yada. I go home. And the next day, he calls me and he says, I am so sorry and I'm so afraid to tell you, but I just got on set for my music video and I tested positive for COVID. Obviously, I had just like had this whole extravagant date with him the night before.
And keep in mind, we're being told that this is like 2020, 2021. So this is like really around the time when the vaccine's only starting to come in as well. So this was like the time when there was lockdowns and all this shit. We were coming and going out of lockdowns. So this would have been a very, 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 it's always scary to get COVID, but I mean, very scary back then.
100% have COVID. We were like making out on the beach the whole night, which is like traumatizing, but true. Okay, so I'm like, this man gave me COVID. And he's like, there's nothing I can do. I'm so sorry, but like, obviously we both have it. So I'm quarantining at the one hotel.
No! 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 Did he lie about COVID to get her to, like, isolate with him? No! No! Oh my God, that cannot be true. Even before she had figured out that she had or hadn't COVID? First of all, it's incredibly psychotic that he would say that if it wasn't true. I don't know if it is yet. I'm sure we'll find out. But it's evil genius. Oh my God. He like weaponized the pandemic to force her to spend time with him. Oh my fucking God. That's crazy.
So I was like, I mean, like, fuck. Like, I have COVID now. I have 2 roommates. Like, guess I gotta go.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Again, unmedicated. I show up to the hotel, okay? And I move in with the man.
No! Okay. Within like what? 2 dates? 3 dates? You're moving in with him? Because he's saying that, oh my God!
So I'm at the one hotel, one of the most beautiful hotels in all of Los Angeles, okay? It's like several $1,000s a night for like a nice room. So I'm living the life. We're ordering room service every night. We're just having so much fun. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I date this guy. Keep in mind, we are not separating, so I have no opportunity to view his online presence, all right? Because that is another really important factor to the story, because had I seen the shaking that was occurring, I might have thought differently. Okay? But he's in person, he's really normal, he's charismatic, he's Australian, he's a beautiful musician, he's singing to me and playing guitar every night. I'm like, you know what? I'm falling for it.
It's like my idea of hell.
I know, but you asked. As more time passes, we eventually move to like an Airbnb in Marina Del Rey because he wanted to be by the beach. And so we go over there. And this man is not allowing me to go home, okay? This was the first major red flag. Like if I had a morning where I was like, okay, like I want to go home and like get new clothes and shower and like just be a human and be alone for a second, he would immediately like shut down, like, why don't you want to be with me? Why would you want to go home? Can I come with you? Like, just very strange. And I did not like that. A normal person would have seen this as like a big, major, like, no in a relationship, okay? But I am not a normal person. So I was like, he wants to be with me all the time. He is obsessed with me.
I also would have thought the same way.
You know what I mean?
Like, he wants me so bad.
Unfortunately, I believed it was a good thing at the time, all right? And I had a bunch of people in my ear. I had, like, mutual friends. Like, Zach Sang was a really important one, too, okay? We were all hanging out together all the time, and when Clinton, like, maybe wasn't around, I would have these people in my ear, like, Brooke, if you do not date this man, you are so stupid. Like, first of all, he's gonna be huge. He's so talented. He's so special. He has, like, the most amazing story. Like, you have to date him, okay?
It's very weird for people like Zach Sang to be forcing that on her.
Influenced. So I start dating the man. Part 5, who the fuck did I marry? Okay. So
very, very, very weird that so many external people would be like, if you don't date him right now, you're fucking up or you're missing an opportunity. Like, mind your own fucking business, bitch. Get off my dick.
Who the fuck did I marry? Okay. We are now in a committed relationship. All right. And one thing about Clinton is he loved to go on a trip. All right. He wanted to get me as far away from everybody else as possible. So this time it was Joshua Tree. He's like, let's go to Joshua Tree. Let's just spend the weekend. It'll be so relaxing, amazing, whatever. We can work. Great. On the way there, we get pulled over. In his car, he drove a Model X at the time. And when the cop asked for license and registration, he gave his license, his Australian license, and he gave the registration to the car, which was not his car. So I thought that was strange. And then the cop is like reciting his information back to him, and he says, you were born in 1999. And I am under the impression that my boyfriend is a year younger than me, okay? And this would make him like 4 years younger than me. I'm like, that's really strange, but we keep going, and I ask him about it, and he's like, oh, like, that's a fake ID. I got it mixed up. We got lucky. And I'm...
A fake ID that would make him younger than what he is? What the fuck? Fake ID makes you older, not younger. Girl, please.
That doesn't happen, but whatever. Also, who has a fake ID to appear younger? Anyway, we go to Joshua Tree, and we have this whole little trip, whatever. We're barbecuing and hot tubbing and having this whole little couples vacation, okay? And everything is going perfect until the nighttime, all right? And this is when we had our first major blowout fight, all right? This is a very important turning point because our entire relationship was blowout fights, okay? But what's important about them is that they were literally out of thin air, okay? So this one was because we're eating our dinner that we made, okay? And I am looking at my phone, okay? Keep in mind, I'm not at a family dinner. We are on a couples retreat where we have spent every single second together for the past 48 hours. Why would I not be allowed to look at my phone? This is when he proceeded to tell me it's a major trigger of his for someone to not pay 100% attention to him at dinner time because that's what his mom used to do to him, all right? And his mom was very neglectful.
What?
He had a horrible relationship with her, and it was really traumatic. Obviously, everything is unresolved since she has died, and so anything that reminds him of his mother is a no, okay? And he went insane. I tell you, I have never seen a man like just pout and throw like a literal tantrum this way. I was like, how do I undo? I cannot be in a relationship with this man. Part 6, who the fuck did I marry? Okay.
What the absolute fuck? So obviously he's trying to keep her off her phone so that she doesn't... Sorry, Tana commented on this and said, you have no idea the smile I have watching these ear to ear. What's really crazy about this is obviously he was keeping her off her phone so she wouldn't find out more information about him, but like... What the fuck? Brooke, baby, I would have been in that bathroom on my phone researching his LinkedIn, family tree, social security number, like everything.
Yapping. I'm like, I will show you yapping, okay? So we just had our first major blowout fight, all right? And this is when I first found out like how he behaves in an argument, which was like a child. Like literally you could not talk any sense into him. It was so irrational, and it was just like you could not get through to him. There was no like,
God, that's so irritating.
You just had to apologize even though he was so unbelievably wrong every single time. Oh my God, it was infuriating. And the overwhelming common theme of all of our arguments was that I was worsening his trauma, and he can't believe that I'm so insensitive to everything.
Oh my God.
I remind him so much of his mother, who was so horrible to him, and I should be way more sensitive to everything that he is going through.
The way they've been dating for like a couple weeks is crazy.
You know what I mean? Like the man lost 3 family members in 1 year. I'm like, he is going through a lot, so I have to give him like a little bit of grace. But it became a situation where I felt like I was like mothering this man, and like if I did anything wrong, or if I like literally split my attention for even 1 second, he went ballistic because he was like a little infant baby child. I want to be sensitive to his situation, but it was like way too much for me to handle because I'm already, you guys know, I'm emotionally unstable, okay? And I have no business fixing whatever was like seriously very wrong with him. I would go out with my friends. Like I remember one night I was at dinner with Tana, and he's blowing me up, like literally sending me novels about how he drank an entire 5th of vodka. He's going to drive. I need to get to him right now, or he's going to do crazy things. Like it was just so manipulative. And I just like, I was not
scary
equipped. Part 7, you guys. He said she can't stop yapping.
But also, one thing about this as well is it really does feed into this narrative of, and obviously this is not Brooke's fault, but it feeds into this narrative of don't get in a relationship with someone that quickly, which is very ironic coming from Mother Mucker, because if there's one thing Mother Mucker does is want to get into a relationship very quickly with someone if I feel some type of way with them. However, the only times in the past that I've ever moved really quickly with someone, it ends up burning out really quickly because you find out more about their personality, or they find out more about yours, and you realize that, oh my God, I don't know you at all. And you are in this like locked in mentality. Obviously that's not anyone's fault, but it's just like something like sometimes we do as people, and I'm guilty of that.
I'm like, I will show you yapping. Okay. Part 8, I think.
She's not Taco Bell in front of her. She's been here for a while.
I'm just trying not to spare you any details. So I'm in my relationship with my little baby man child, and he still lives in Vegas, okay? So we are technically in a long distance relationship, but we never separate. So either I'm in Vegas staying with him, or he is living with me. Or we'd get like an Airbnb in Marina Del Rey, whatever, it doesn't matter. We are never separating. And at this time, his album was about to come out, okay? So like he was doing the whole rollout. He was like really getting in the zone. And I was just constantly there for like all the work that he was doing. And this album was special because it was this first piece of work that he was putting out since everything had happened and since everyone had died, okay? And the whole album was about that, of course. And as a part of his little press tour, he went on the Zach Sang show, okay? If you are not familiar, Zach Sang is an interviewer. He does like huge celebrity interviews. And
let me look up this interview.
And talks about like life and music.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Zach is also one of his best friends. So Zach like knows his story very well, and he does the interview accordingly, okay? He's asking like all the questions about his mom, about the funerals, about his brother, about
find it. Find it. Okay. Here we have him.
Hi, it's Kane, just an interview with the Zach Sang show. We talked about how much I hate sandwiches and am repulsed by it. My debut album that's coming out tonight. And lots of other shit.
He sounds like Mike, an actor. If you know your Adam McIntyre lore, you'll know.
Right? Mm-hmm. That rectangle, put it everywhere. And everyone like DMs me, what the fuck, what is this? What's going on? I just thought it was cool.
Okay. I was about to say, someone else commented that the accent's going back and forth. I don't like commenting on people's accent because people comment on mine all the time, and I'm like, shit, there's nothing I can do about mine. But that's going in and out of Australian.
Obviously.
So I assume he's lying about the accent, maybe.
Had to attend the funerals during COVID, and he had to do it via Zoom because of like everything that was going on. And he is really just going in this interview in his Australian accent. And the interview comes out. I was staying with him at an Airbnb at the time, and I posted a TikTok with him in it, okay? And in my comments, I started getting girls going, uh-oh, like, not him. And I immediately was like, wait, what? And I have a girl tell me, like, oh, by the way, he cheated on his ex-girlfriend with literally 15 girls. And before this, he had told me that his ex, who I Guess I'm in Love is about, by the way, one of the most beautiful songs ever. People use it as their wedding song. It's like, I mean, it's his biggest song. He told me that the girl that was about had cheated on him. Okay, so this was news to me. And I asked...
Pause. I'm going to pause this video a second and go listen to this song and come back. BRB. Okay, I am back, and unfortunately, I have to say that song was really, really, really good. That song was actually really good. Now he does sing a little bit like this, but it was way better than what I thought. Okay.
Ask him about it. I'm like, did you cheat on her? Like, it was the most nonchalant thing in the world. He was like, well, yeah. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
excuse me? Part 9. I'm having so much fun. Okay. So we just found out that he cheated on his ex-girlfriend, who I Guess I'm in Love is about. Okay. Beautiful love song. You can't imagine that he could possibly do something bad to her, right? Wrong. He was cheating on her the whole time. All right. And what I realized when I really looked into it is I was one of the girls, because like I said, he has been messaging me constantly for the last year, like literally sliding up on every single story I post, trying to fly me out. When he tried to fly me out to dinner that time, they were actively in a relationship. So I'm sick because, first of all, I feel like I somehow had like a part in it, and I felt disgusting about that. And just the fact that like I could never have imagined that he was like capable of doing something like that because of how like romantic.
Also, it's crazy that he was cheating on people, but spending this much time with each of them. He was devoted to the part, wasn't he?
He was, and like what a love bomber he was. I was like, I, what on earth do you mean? But he's a master manipulator. So he's, you know, he's telling me like, I was so removed from that relationship long before we broke up, and I should have just called it off, and I would never do something like that again. And they were long distance. Like, she lived in New York and he lived in Vegas. So it was like they really didn't spend a lot of time together. And like somehow the way that he described it to me made it seem like less bad. It was horrible. But I didn't let it go, and that was at the top of my mind. Okay? And again, we're staying together. So the next morning, I'm in bed with him when he is on a call with his manager. All right? And he is begging his manager, telling him, whatever it takes, I need you to have that interview deleted. And he's talking about the Zach Sang interview that I referenced earlier. Okay? And I am like,
This interview, then, he really wanted deleted. Well, obviously, it didn't get deleted.
Oh. That's it. That's better than anything else. Like we're filming music videos for album, and like they bring.
Wait. Okay, again, I don't mean to comment on accents, because when people comment about mine, I'm like, here we go again. But that is an American accent with an Australian one. I can't say shit because mine goes in and out of dairy and American.
I hadn't seen the interview yet, but Zach's one of our best friends. Like, I was like, what could possibly be in this interview that is so bad that he wants it off the internet? But, you know, like, Clinton's telling his manager, like, I don't care, like, just get it down. So in bed next to him, I get on my little phone and I go to the interview and I start to read the comments. And in the comments, I see someone write, this is really strange. I don't know where this Australian accent came from. He is not Australian. He is from Brunei. I grew up with him. I went to school with him. And I saw his mom last week. Part 9. I'm having some... Okay. So...
No way. No way, it was a lie.
And we have reason to believe that he is A, not from Australia, faking an Australian accent, and B, he faked the death of his family.
Oh my god.
Okay? And like I said, I was still mad about the ex thing, so I staged this whole fight and I get the fuck out of there, which was not easy to do, okay? I don't get to leave, remember? I go home and I get on my computer so fucking fast and I look up his mother, okay, which I've never done before. She has a very specific name, all right? and I looked her up on Facebook. She has 2 accounts, okay? And on neither of them has she posted since the date that she was supposed to have died. So,
Not supposed to.
I'm like, okay, it's possible she's dead. But it's also possible that she is not, which, like, you guys. But here's the thing, okay? He had told me so many stories about his childhood and his life growing up, and told me all about his mom and what she looked like. She was Norwegian and blonde, okay? He would tell me about what his house looked like and how they had nannies and maids, and he was so wealthy, and his mom would leave for months at a time because she also had, like, she had all these...
So how is he affording all these hotels and stuff? Is he in debt? Is that credit card crazy?
Pastor, like, I don't even know how in my right mind I, like, did not see right through this, but he would tell me all these elaborate stories. And now I'm looking at her Facebook profile, and his life was nothing of the sort. Okay, I can see the house that he grew up in Brunei.
No, I understand why Brooke didn't have time to like look into all this beforehand, but let me tell you something. I am a serial stalker, and the second I go on a date with someone, I know all your lore. I might be asking you questions on a second date like, where'd you grow up? What's your family? How many siblings do you have? I already know everything. I could answer it for you. I know everything. It's just because I like to prep. I like to prep and be prepared. Clinton would not have gotten away with this with me. I'm kidding. He probably would have. He would have.
This man, and he has a fucking Australian accent. His mom is obviously Asian, as is he, which, like, why would you lie about that? It's such a strange thing to lie about. And just everything was fake. So while I can't immediately tell that she is alive, I can tell that he is a extreme pathological liar. Part 10.
Oh my god, people that are just that good at lying are so fucking scary.
I now know that my boyfriend, who I've been with for several months, who I spend every single waking second with, has literally completely fabricated every single detail about himself. I know nothing. I
just don't understand why he would be going on all these press tours knowing that people would clock him. Oh, here's the comment. I went to school with Clinton, and I know for a fact he grew up. Now here we went to school together. Not sure where the Australian accent came from. I knew both of his mom and brother when I was back, and I know that they're alive and well. So what is going on? Why make such a huge publicity stunt for fame when you could have gotten it with your raw talent? What's crazy is his song has 500 million listens. So he's like popular. So why would he throw it all away for like being a pathological liar? What the fuck?
Lighthearted and like funny as I can make the story now, like I cannot explain to you like what I felt in that moment. It was genuinely the worst feeling I've ever felt in my entire life, because it was like
everything is a lie.
I've never been obviously lied to in that way, but like I spend so much time with this person. He's my best friend. I'm in love with him. I am dating him. Like he's the closest person in the world to me, and
and again, she had to persuade herself to be interested in him. That's what makes this so much more evil.
Himself up. And just like my nature, it's impossible for me to get rid of somebody. So
this is literally like a Netflix horror thing, by the way, of him lying about everything.
But I know I have to break up with him, and I didn't want to. So I was like, what the fuck do I do? I know that sounds so dumb coming out of my mouth now, but it was like I knew that if I had the conversation, I had to break up with him. So I was like, I wasn't even sure that I wanted to have I almost wanted to just like pretend I didn't know. Again, I was unmedicated. But I did text him and I said, listen to me. I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to tell me if there's anything that you've lied to me about at all. And he racked his brain for all of 5 minutes before he told me I had lied about my age. I am 22 years old. All that, and the only thing he wanted to admit to was that he lied about his age. Part 11, you guys.
God, there's something I can't imagine, like, actually how traumatizing that would be to go through, because that's like, could you imagine that, like, dating someone and figuring out that, like, every single thing you know / like about them, your lore, is not true? Because then you're like, who the fuck did I marry? Literally, like, who the fuck are you? Like, that is so fucking scary, dude.
Get the point. I confront him, obviously. I show up there the next day.
also, if it wasn't for the Zach Sang interview, then this wouldn't have been exposed.
So different. Like, not in that headspace, more.
God, he really is going in and out of his accent. Look at Zach Sang. I don't like Zach Sang.
This is what I know. You need to explain yourself right fucking now. And when I tell you this man is so good at his job, you guys, because here's the thing. I'm here accusing a man of faking his mother's death, okay, with no hard evidence. I have evidence that he lied about, like, the conditions in which he grew up, but I'm not sure that she's alive. So I can't, like, with full confidence, like, come at him in that way. So I'm kind of hoping that he just, like, confesses, and he doesn't. He made me feel so fucking horrible.
Oh, no, he turned it around on her.
Possibly accusing him of lying about something like that, because who would ever lie about something like that? And I felt so disgusting and so guilty. And
This is so manipulative.
I thought I was going crazy. And here's the thing. I grew up very poor, and obviously I had like drug addict parents and stuff, and like he knows that, and I've told him a lot about that. So it was like weird to me that he would lie about, like, pretend to have grown up super rich. But I also know that like some people are like ashamed of the way that they grew up and stuff. So it's like, how am I really, I don't know why I'm making excuses for him right now. Like, why the fuck are you lying about how you grew up? Literally, why?
It's such a big part of getting to know someone as well.
I admit my fault. I stayed with him. Okay? Oh my God. I stayed with him, and I know I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. Looking back on it now, I'm like, are you literally kidding? But I stayed with the man. But I still had my doubts, okay? Now, all of a sudden, I'm watching him differently. Every single thing that he says, I just assume is a lie. And we're fighting constantly about everything. I remember one night he literally started hysterically sobbing because I said, as a joke, that Kid Rock was hot. Okay, part 12, get to the point. I could...
Not Kid Rock. Please.
13, lucky for him, I want to go to bed soon. But
Kid Rock thing is fucking crazy.
Details of how I found out that I was getting cheated on, okay? But boy, was I. Y'all have seen him. Like, was I wrong to think I didn't really have to worry about that? It's truly amazing what he was able to accomplish. But he was, in fact, cheating on me with so many people. Like, literally. And like,
where did he get the time to do all this?
If I like matched up the timelines, it would be like we were like laying in bed watching Bridgerton, and he'd be like sending a dick pic to somebody else. So that was something. And that is ultimately why we did break up. But what's interesting about that is we broke up because I accused him of cheating, and he couldn't believe I would ever have the nerve.
Oh, yawn.
He was fully cheating on me. Like, but can you believe that? Like, he broke up with me. Like, how embarrassing is that? I shouldn't even tell you that. But you guys know that story. I was a wreck. Not handle that well. I was not doing well. It was a really, really rough time. All right. But it was only then that I had the confidence to bring the mom thing back up again. Oh. So we're on the phone, and I'm hysterically sobbing, and I'm asking him, how could you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Do you need to be institutionalized, etc.? And I ask him, also, why did you fake the death of your family? And of course, he denies it. And I then tell him, I've been talking to your mother. I had not been talking to her.
Oh my God. Wait. Oh my God. Brooke has done something that I have actually done before. Brooke has done, well, not in the same context, obviously, but there was a time period when I thought that someone I was like casually seeing was hooking up with someone else. And I told the person I was seeing that I spoke to the person that I thought that he was getting with. And then I ultimately got him to say that it was happening because I lied and said that the person told me it was happening. I hadn't spoken to that person. It's crazy to me, like, just how, like, the parallels of, like, how me and Brooke deal with the dating world. Let me tell you something. It's such a genius method, but it works. Oh, it's so evil. But it works.
That got him. he finally admitted that he did, in fact, fake the death of his mom and his brother. His dad is dead. Not that that's a good thing, but there's 1 out of 3 that are.
1 down.
The rest are still kicking. So I guess it's like a positive. If you think about all his songs about how he like just wishes he could talk to his mom one more time, it's like, call her. All right.
No, call her. Also, this is so crazy because, like, if he got, like, mainstream success, why is he doing interviews where the title is literally about "I'm losing his mom"? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Anyway, it has now been 2 years since we've broken up, and he had the nerve to post a TikTok today saying that I cannot let it go. And I just want to go on record and say, no fucking shit. Apparently his new song comes out on Friday, and the man will do anything to get a stream. So honestly, you guys, do him a service. He needs money for therapy. And if you take nothing else away from this story, just know that treating underlying mental health conditions is very important, because had I known what was wrong with me, I would have never gone near that man to begin with. Anyway, it has now been 2 years. Because a lot of people ask me, like, well, did his accent ever, like, go in and out? Like, did you ever notice that he, like, didn't have an accent? And truthfully, he never, almost never had the accent with only me, okay? Like, he would turn it on when my friends were around or when we're at dinner with people or whatever, and I was like, okay, slay. But, like, you know, he's a performance artist. But I didn't really think that much of it because, obviously, like, I'm American, and I just figured, like, he was, like, mirroring me. Sometimes if I felt like he was really being irrational, I would record our arguments because I'd like to show them to him the next day. He knew I did this, by the way. This is not illegal. And there's just nothing Australian about him. I'll let you be the judge.
It's uncomfortable. You can say it to fucking anyone else. You can go with 10 on say it. When I'm in that room, you don't. Because I'm saying it right now, I'm uncomfortable. You want to keep saying things I'm uncomfortable about? Keep going. I'm just going to be, like, weirded out. I'm going to be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Something I brought up to my girlfriend that I said was uncomfortable. She doesn't acknowledge it, nor respect that I am uncomfortable about it. And she doesn't want to stop saying it, even though it doesn't demoralize her personality or her value.
You literally
no,
don't
it doesn't.
even know what that means.
It doesn't demoralize your personality.
What are you even talking? What are you talking about?
Here we go. Turn off.
That is not what
Here we go.
demoralize means.
We're doing a haul.
Okay, and then that's the end of it. Okay, I have never been so locked in for something on someone I have no idea exists. That is crazy. When is the Netflix series Surviving Clinton Kane coming? That is crazy. Oh my god. I also can't believe that the thing she did that got him to admit he was lying is something I've done to someone before. Oh my god. I'm so glad I waited to do this with you because that was revolutionary. That was legendary. Oh my god, muckers, let's talk about this down below. I will see you in my next one. God bless you, Brooke, and goodbye.